morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Madam Chairperson. And what I want to tell here, what I want to share here is about the parenting education in China, and because in China, legislation relating to family or parenting education has been promoted, and now is in the process. And also views of harmonious society construction are developed in China and by the government. In order to express myself more exactly and more fluently, I had to make my presentation in Chinese, my mother language. 在中国
Under the influence of Western values, traditional Chinese tendencies have emerged. We value above all the individual and money, finances. And some young people consider family, parents, and children as a burden on the way to their independence, financial prosperity. And the problem that emerges in the Chinese society today, in the recent years, is related to the change of notions about family. Today, Chinese society is again trying to value traditional family qualities. We want the values of happy family to be reintroduced in Chinese society. Xi Jinping, on the eve of Chinese New Year, said that however the times are changing, however the speed of changes is growing, we still have to treat the family and its structure in a traditional way. We have to pay attention to family education, to family education. What are the goals here? The goals here are to form good family culture and representation of family, good family, are the harmonious relations between members of the family, between parents and between children, and healthy distribution of children grown up within the family. This means that education skills of parents have to be specially taught. Parents should know how to give psychological support to their children. They should behave in a way that is beneficial for their children. So, reflections on parenting education in China would be a guidance for building family development. The rights of the child have to be protected. And now I come to show the slides that relate to these different patterns. Particularly, I want to say that there are undeniable rights of child. What is the sequence? A teacher saw a 10-year-old boy with his back and feet hindered with scars, as you see on the slide. They called the police, but medical expertise stated that this is slight injuries. But the next day, the police, in terms of criminal prosecution, arrested the woman called Li as a suspect who exerted injuries. On the 16th of April, the prosecutor of Nanking made a public hearing whether to permit the suspect woman to keep the child. The prosecutor office published a statement that said, according to the law of the state of China, it is not permitted to arrest her, but
连续审了3天的这个案件，最后的审查结果，
The trial
庭审结果
should be
是
held,
小强的养母
and
被
the
法
adoption
院
family
一审判处有期徒刑
of
半年。
this
同时，
boy
法院提
has
出
been
建议，李某
denounced
在
for
今后的
6
相当
months
长一
of
段时间内
prison for
不得
these
不再
atrocities.
适合收养和监护儿。
Children were taken
我关注
away
这个案例，
from her
并不是关
to
注
be given
他
to
这样
some
一
other
个
family. So
法院庭审的过程。
when it turned out that his mother and his adopted mother were
而关注的
sisters
是，在这样一个
and
儿童伤害的案件中的背后，原因是
maintaining close
类
relationship,
似的事
it
件
turned out
再次
that
发生。
this was a sort of
在
a
这个案例中，还有一
stooged
个比较
adopted family.
一个背景是小强的亲生父母
So
和这个养父母
that
和
means
养
that
母之
this
间是
case
表
is
亲
very
关系，
specific.
两家关系是非常亲密的。
The family that lives in the village of
养
the
母
sister of
在
that
南京
lady
的市区，家庭
was
条件
having many
他们是支持
children,
家庭。
and the families
他们
made
但是
an
他们
agreement
旗下是没有
that
资
the
源，
relatives
而亲
would
生父母
make on
住在
this
安徽的
boy
农村，生活非常
an
艰苦。
orphanage,
他们家还有多
and
个
they
女子
simply transferred the boy from one family
两个儿子，
to the
所以在
sister
4年前
of the mother of that family,
办理了收养
which
关
had
系。
many children.
这个半年呢，这个案件在
Hence,
中国的社会上
Though this
引
is
起了广泛的
a sort of
但令人担忧
in-family
的是，大家的讨论主要
occurrence,
聚焦在养母是不是应该判刑。
the public has
他们和男孩之
caused
间的收
great
养关系
resonance
在法律上是
because
否
people
是否合法
are fearing
但
that
是很少有
after
人去
6
关
months
注
of prison,
小强目前面临的一种困境。养
the situation may come back
我们
to the same
法院以
situation.
保护儿童免受
Nobody
虐待的名
thought
义
in this
不允许小强和
legal
养父
case about the
再次
child
接触，不允许他们生
himself,
活在一起。
about this little boy.
但是我们没有想
What
的是，
this little boy
他却
has to
剥夺了
encounter
小强
under the
稳定的
pretext
生
of
活环境稳定的
protection
生
of
活状态
child from
和安心的学习的权利，
beating,
也撕裂了
the
小
child
强
is
与
not
养父母之间
permitted
建立了4年
to
来
meet
建立
his
起来比较稳
stepmother,
定的
thus we denied
依恋
his
关系。
right for a
在
family.
心理学上，这样一种
Then we
早儿
also
童早期
broke
建立这样一种依恋的关系，
The stability of
这种
relationship
关系
that was
如果被
established in 4
破坏的话，
years,
远
which
远
may
比
cause suffering
小
for
强
this
受到
kid.
的这一点身体上的伤害。
And there are very few people who ask a question, what
也很少有人去
has
思考，
specifically
导致这个悲剧的原因
led
到底
to
是什么？
such a
如
tragedy?
何避免类似的悲剧
What are
不
the
再发生在
reasons,
其
the
他人
causes of
身上
such a tragedy? How
另外，
can such
如果
tragedies
小强
can
养
be
母以及其
prevented
他的人
so
其他
that
即将
these
成为人
things
母
wouldn't
的人有
be
机会了解儿
repeating?
童的身心发展的
If
规
the
律
stepmother
和教育
of
儿
this
童与儿童之
small
间进行沟通的
boy
一些方
Sam
法，
and
那么
other
性
parents
情
would
非
have
常
a
稳定
possibility
的
to
养母
understand
因为
what is
据他们
logical
邻居
for the
讲，这个
child
养母的性情是非常稳
development,
定的，
could understand
又如何会用棍棒来对付调皮的小强呢？
What
如果养母第一次打这个小强，
this
而被别人制止的话，
mother
而有专业人员的介
foster
入的话，
mother,
有
normally a very calm and quiet
帮助
woman,
他
would
学会
she
如
take
何
a stick to
跟
beat the
年幼
boy?
的小强进行沟通，
If
还会发生如
instead
此
of
严重的后果吗？
verbal communication with a child,
所以
she
从这个意义
wouldn't
上
take the
说，高
stick
质量的家庭教育指导
and
是预防儿
she
童
would
权利受
rather
到伤
go
害的一
to
种
the
重要工具。
specialist for a professional support. Would this happen? Of course
另外，
not. And
家庭
in
教育的
this
指导
sense,
也是家庭
the
也是
guidance,
家
high
庭的一项
quality
最迫切
professional
的现实需
guidance
求。
is of course
有
a
研究发现，
prevention of
只有
violence towards
23%，
children.
不到1/4
The
的
guidance of the
家长
families is an
认
absolute
为自
must.
己已经掌握了
Research
家庭教育
showed
的
that
相关
only
知识。
23% of the
但是有
parents think they
75%
have
的
enough
家长
knowledge to
认为
bring
自
up
己目
and
前
raise
掌握
the
的家庭
children,
知识
while
是远远不够的。
77% of parents
76.4%
assume
的
that
家长
the
认为
knowledge they have
自己
is
需要
not
接受
enough.
专门的家教知识的培训。
77.4% of parents
这充分地说
think
明
that they need to
家
go
长
to the special
对家庭
courses
教育指导的这
for
种服务
raising the
有着强
children.
烈的需求。
And
我本人
part of
在今
them
年的
believe
上半
that they
年到
need
深圳去
special services to be
考察
provided. In April
社
this
区的社
year
会工
in
作的现状的时
Shenzhen,
候，
I
也验证了
revealed
这
that
个
this
事实的现
need
实
is
存在。
really
我们
there.
在调查过程中，我们在调查的过程中发
We
现，
studied
特别是我
the
们的了解社区
work
家
and
庭服
services
务
provided
或者是
by one of the
社区工作内
public
容的时候，我们发现
organizations
100%
in the
的社
city,
区工作小
and
组
we saw
在开展
that
针对家庭教育的
they had two working groups that worked in the local community and covered 70% of all the public services, and they guided the parents in terms of bringing up the children. The reason why we have an increasing need are several. Number one, the progress of bringing up the children is not following immediately the economic progress. The functions of the family are changing over time. And also the influence of the local community is weakened. Another factor is the government is trying to support these initiatives. 3 years ago, I took part in the preliminary studies of the legislation on family education or family raising in China. We studied the draft laws, we studied the regulatory basis in China as applied to the families, and this is a good sign that in China they pay specific attention to raising children, bringing up the family, bringing up children within the families. And we believe that this will give an impulse for the guidance to the parenting education in China. During the study and analysis, we concluded the following. Parenting education should be involved in the community public service system as one of the family services. Parenting education is an important measure to protect the children. By using it, you can make adjustments to the function of family, and one can guarantee the health and security of children in their growing period. The experts from the working group should develop an integrated approach that would bring together the efforts of local government, schools, and social organizations. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And I'd like